How is everyone doing? Welcome everybody to the morning show with Oscar Blue from Border Network News. How's everybody doing? Share so we can start. Let's wait on the feed. Let's talk a little bit and say hello to everyone. Robin Bilby, how you doing? We're gonna have a minor detail before we start. Can you guys hear me well? That's the whole thing. That's the thing to start. Can you guys hear me well? Good morning, Blue. Man, I tried looking on Amazon half the night for your wish list. It's pinned right there. It's pinned right there on my page. And for you guys that there's a few things right there on my wish list, but thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys that practically they've been cooperating and they've been contributing to the wish list. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. After this, we're gonna do Spanish segment, and we got first of all, good morning to everyone. Happy Monday to everyone. God bless you. God bless everyone. God bless everyone, because this is the American audience and this is people, they speak practically English. I will try to do my best to speak English at the most fluent possibility to my abilities. So how's everyone doing? And good morning to all of you in America. God bless America. God bless your president. God bless the conservative people that they're fighting against this left movement and this socialism that I don't agree with. God bless everyone that is fighting the good fight. We can send Amazon cards. I just got you one and I'm mailing it today. Thank you so much, Kathy Roberts, Brandy Schulte. How you doing? How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing fantastic. So, boy, do we got some subjects that we got to talk about today. And the subject number one is that we need to be realistic with each other. We need to be realistic with each other, and we need to be realistic with the Mexican government. We need to be realistic with the Mexican government. And one of them I got coffee, and the other one I got water. So, what is the realistic thing? And you guys know, since you started watching me, and guys that have been with me since 8 or 9 months already with the show, and they've been, watching me particularly, they know that I'm a guy about facts and numbers. And really, that is all that I go for. It's facts and numbers, really. That is my mathematical, stand when it comes to bringing up the light and the evidence. So, if there's a problem, we need to address it with statements, with facts and numbers. And this is a humongous problem that it needs to be brought out to light. What is the problem? The problem is that there's only one person in my country of Mexico that is constantly lying to the government of the United States. There is one person only that is constantly lying to the government of the United States. And now there's a statement from the United States government and the Department of Homeland Security that is directed to the government of AMLO, my president. It is a statement, and I want you guys to acknowledge the subject that we're going to be talking about is cartels, drug trafficking, smuggling, and also the percentage of which are the people that they're crossing more drugs to the United States. Are they illegal immigrants? Are they people with tourist visa? Are they residents? Or are they U.S. citizens? It is a culture of narco cultura that is called, that is the narco culture that has been established right here in our country. And our country's been taking it like it's normal, like it's part of our culture, like it's part of our education. And we got so many statistics about how many young people are being involved in narcotics now, and trafficking narcotics and selling narcotics and being in the corner and be like, you know what, it's a 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. You know, we got a lot of youngsters now working because our education level of stopping the trafficking of drugs in our country is not a priority for our president. The priority for our president is to influx the country with migrants and to grow Central America so he can become the savior of Latin America like Simón Bolívar once did. So this is what the government of the United States and the Department of Homeland Security said to AMLO. And they said openly to Mexican government. They said this. People from the Department of Justice of the United States, they are saying that the president of Mexico is not attending the binational cooperation in the subject of fighting against the drug cartels, which, because AMLO's not concentrated on the drug cartels, the Mexican cartels are taking advantage to extend their control on territory, and also they are expressing that they're the ones that they're managing the country. Look at this. This is the government of the United States that is telling AMLO this is what is happening. The government of the United States is not dumb. They have a lot of infiltrated, investigated people in our country. They have a lot of people. It's not just one agent from CIA or the DEA. They have a lot of them. And a lot of DEA officers are crooked. A lot of them are paid off by the cartel. You're talking about millions and millions. And this is in the history of the cartel. This is in the history of the cartel. A lot of DEA officers are paid off by the cartel. Millions and millions of dollars. So right now, the government of the United States is saying that AMLO is not taking care of the situation regarding the cartel. It is a lie, or is it the truth? And this is where I come in with the facts and the numbers. The facts and the numbers, so we can see if it is a reality that AMLO is doing something about it, or is not a reality that AMLO doesn't care about the fight against the trafficking of drugs in our country, like he's not caring about what is going on in Suchiate, that they're trafficking gasoline and trafficking tons and tons of cocaine and heroin through the border of Suchiate 1 and Suchiate 2. So that is kind of like, it all comes, it's a domino effect. It all comes to sit down, it all comes to one source, and the one source is AMLO. And all these facts and all these things that the government of the United States are saying, it is because of reality. It is a reality, people. And we have a statistic about how many cartels they have grown in every 6 years of every president. It is amazing right now how many cartels are in the government of AMLO. Why? Number one reason why. I'll let you work, I'll let you build your cartel, but you're going to cooperate. And also, let me call over there in the United States to see if they're going to let you come in. Because those ones are also the ones that call the shots, the DEA. Those ones are the ones that they come and negotiate with the kingpins with the drug lords. And they say, you know what, I will let you this amount of tons of cocaine into my country, but how much are you going to give to me? Let's say it like it is, people. It is a fact. It is a fact. The DEA is crooked. They have a lot of DEA officers that they're crooked. And over here, you got a lot of politicians and a lot, I'm saying humongously, a lot of authorities that they're involved in the movement of the cartels in our country. That is why it's so impossible to get out. That is why a lot of youngsters are getting in the game, and they're sicarios now. They're killing people at 13, 14, 15 years old. And it is basically impossible for them to get out. So if the government of the United States is addressing this subject directly to the government of Mexico, it's because something is happening. They don't open their mouth just because something is wrong. No, they open the mouth. The United States government is like this. You do me once, I will do you twice. And I will let you have it. And I will tell you when you are wrong. And you're going to correct that. Or whether you're corrected or not, I will take care of it. Immediately. I don't play around. The government of the United States doesn't play around when it comes to laying the foot down. They don't play around with that. Really, they don't. So regarding, is AMLO doing something about it? And like I said, this is what the government of the United States said. Our agents are assigned to go to Mexico. They don't have an exchange of information, of intelligence from the Mexican government and from the cartels. And also, they haven't reported that the new president is taking away the Marines from the strategy to fight the cartels. So they already know that AMLO is not having the Marines involved with fighting the cartel. So let's say this is AMLO speaking, and I will translate. AMLO speaking about the war against the cartel. This is AMLO speaking about the war against the cartel. And from here, we should actually know if he's lying with the next facts that I got for you and the numbers around our country, what is happening. So we will know if the government of the United States is lying or it's not. We will know that. It is a subject right now that we're bringing up to light. Why? It's been a subject for the thousands of years. But it's a subject right now because the government of the United States just gave out a statement regarding that the Mexican government is not doing anything about it against fighting the cartels. And also, they're not controlling the influx, not only of migrants, we already know that, but they're not controlling the influx of drugs into Mexico and now, into, the United States. So let's hear him out. And I will stop every now and then for me to translate to you guys. This is AMLO.
No se han detenido a capos.
We haven't detained capos. Capos is kingpins, drug lords. We haven't detained capos, kingpins, drug lords.
Porque no es esa nuestra función principal.
Because that is not our primary priority.
La función principal del gobierno es garantizar la seguridad pública.
The number one priority of the government is to secure the public, is to secure the citizens.
Ya no es la estrategia de los operativos.
Leave alone the strategy of doing random checks and operation systems.
Para detener a capos.
So that those random checkpoints, and also to detain those random inspections to detain drug lords. We're not doing that anymore.
Lo que buscamos es que haya seguridad.
What we're looking for is that we have security.
Que podamos disminuir
That we can decrease
el número de homicidios.
the number of homicides. Hear this out. Hear this out. He's saying right now that their priority is to decrease the level of homicides in his government. And also, he's not emphasized on getting to the heads, the capos, the drug lords. He's emphasized more on the security for the public, the security for the citizens. Look how in the hell you're going to fight against this trafficking of massive trafficking of drugs and humans when you're not fighting against the top heads. That is where you need to go. That is where you need to be. That is where you need, if you need to negotiate, because over here in our government, we negotiate. It's not like the United States that they don't negotiate with terrorists. The United States doesn't do that. And the United States doesn't negotiate with that. But over here, we negotiate. So why you're not negotiating, or why you're not, he's not going to say it out loud, but why you come out and tell everybody that you don't care about the drug lords. You care about the security and the level of homicides going down. So this is where I agree with the United States government. This is where I go to the facts and the numbers. But let's finish it. Let's finish hearing him. Look. This is him talking again. That was it. I believe that was it. Yes. So, his last statement, and he quoted. His last statement, and he quoted, "The war has ended against the narco." What makes you think that he's doing something about it when he's telling everybody out loud that he is not going after the heads? He prefers the security. So that means that he's negotiating with the cartels so they will not be assassinating too many people. And that way, the security is guaranteed. That way, they will pay him off. I will promise you that I won't be killing that many people, only the ones that they're behaving bad. And after that, I will get my nice little money. I will let you work, but please negotiate before with me with the DEA, because the DEA needs to be paid off. So, is he doing something about it? Of course not. Here are our facts. And I want you to listen. I want you to hear this out. 17,500 homicides, killings, assassinations in the first semester of AMLO is the highest one that has ever existed in the past 4 presidents. First 6 months, 17,500 assassinations. In the last 6 months, in the first 6 months of his government, 17,500 assassinations. It's been the highest one since the last 3 presidents. So is he lying to the United States government that he's taking care of the cartels and the drug trafficking? He just lied to me because he just told me that he doesn't care about the heads. He doesn't care about the drug lords. He cares about the security of the citizens and the security of the country. It is a joke. The highest homicide ratio, he has it in the first 6 months with 17,500 homicides and killings. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, what makes you think that he's doing something about it? Aha! Paid off. Paid off. And also, another stat says that in May, only in May, 2,903 victims were killed by a homicide. 76 females, and a total of 2,979 people were assassinated. That equates to a result of a 96 killings per day. Per day. 96 killings per day. It's not a surprise. Somebody saying, I just don't get it. Why are you guys surprised? It's not a surprise, people. It's not that I'm surprised. It's not that you're surprised. It's the thing that the government of the United States, your government, has brought out. And we're just giving stats of what's happening. And if he's really doing something about it, you want to hear information or not. So, 96 killings every day is the ratio in Mexico. Is the ratio in Mexico. Good morning to everybody. Imagine that. So is he lying or not? Is he lying? Is he lying or he's not doing anything about it? Let's hear another stat. In terms of how many people they cross daily. So this comes to a statistic of they're doing something about it at the border. This comes to a statistic. Why? Because he's saying that he's stopping the influx of drugs in our country. That is another lie. It is growing. And I will give you a statistic that is a complete lie that the government of Mexico just let out. It is just, it's an insult to us. It is an insult. I saw that stat and I was like, what the hell? Are he serious about this? So, hear this out. In 2014 to 2017, around the number that they were going to secondary inspection at the borders, it was 27,000 vehicles in the borders over here in California. 27,000 per year. Now, 76 tons of narcotics were detained in the year of 2014. Why am I bringing 2014 up? There's a reason why. There's a reason why. Because that was when Peña Nieto was. So, let me give you another stat. Now that I'm talking about that one. Look how funny this is. Look how this is so ridiculous. In terms on the first trimester of the government of AMLO. This is a statistic that it was given by the Mexican government. It is a false statistic, and it is accounted in kilos, in kilograms. So he's saying in the first trimester, Felipe Calderón, our last president, how many kilos he detained of cocaine in the first trimester? 1,469,199 kilos. In the first trimester of Peña Nieto, 1,331,332 kilos of cocaine. Peña Nieto detained on the first trimester. You want to hear how many AMLO detained on his first trimester? Not even the police department right here in Tijuana detains that. Do you know how many? AMLO in its first from the month of December to February, he detained 4 kilos. That is a ridiculous statistic. What does that tell you? It tells you, first, one, that he's lying. Number one, he's lying. Second of all, he's not doing anything about it to detain. And everybody in the government is getting paid off. Everybody's getting paid off because they only detained 4 out of the comparison on the first trimester of Peña Nieto. That is 1,331,332 kilos on the first trimester. So who's not doing anything about it? Is he lying to the government of the United States? Yes, he is. Now, another one. In heroin, Felipe Calderón, first trimester, 4,173. First trimester. Peña Nieto, 19,883. AMLO, 5 kilos. Oh my God. Oh my God. Incredible. Unbelievable. Let's go to marijuana. Felipe Calderón, 79,800 kilos. Detained on the first trimester. Peña Nieto, 102,831,671 kilos. AMLO, 30,563. Amapola, 5,022, Felipe Calderón. Enrique Peña Nieto, 13,570. AMLO, 5. Is he doing something about it? Is he more worried about the security of the citizens? We just heard, and let me just return back the recording so you will hear it again. These are his words that he's saying. Now, after all those statistics that I just gave you, I want you to hear this again. Hear this off.
He tenido a capos porque no es esa nuestra función principal.
We haven't detained capos, drug lords, because that is not our priority.
La función principal del gobierno es garantizar la seguridad pública.
The number one priority of our government is to give public security. So let me just go back right here to a statistic that I just gave you. In the first 6 months of your government, 17,500 assassinations. That is the highest assassination since Felipe Calderón. So you're lying about that you're stopping drugs. You're lying about the security. You're lying about 6,000 National Guard in Chiapas. You're lying about 15,000 at the border from the National Guard. You're lying about everything, and you're getting paid off. Amazing. Amazing. Now, this is another one that I want to show you. And this is unbelievable. How the cartel and the territory and all these, organizations have grown. With Peña Nieto, our last president, the organizations of cartels grew from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cartels in our country. Last president, Felipe Calderón, it grew to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Presidente Fox, it grew through 1, 2, 3, 4 cartels. Ernesto Zedillo was 4 cartels. Carlos Salinas was 3 cartels. Miguel de la Madrid was 1. And Jose Luis Portillo was 1. How in the hell you're telling me, AMLO, right now, that after they let you the government with 9 cartels, and all of those 9 that you're saying right now, none of them you have detained only 5 kilos? And you don't care about the heads? You care about the security of the citizens? In the security of the citizens, the statistic that I just told you is 17,500 killings in the first 6 months. So, is he lying, or isn't he? I lead you guys with that question, and you guys give me the answer. Is he lying, or he's not? Unbelievable. I want you to hear something out right now that is extremely important for you guys to see on how they did a encuesta. How do you say that? They did a census. They did a census to the citizens of Mexico. Oops, I almost dropped this. They did a census to the citizens of Mexico. They did a questionnaire to every house, and they did a census. And look how damaged our citizenship is, how damaged our mentality of Mexicans is, and how we get so accustomed. A survey. Thank you so much, Lexi. They did a survey on how Mexico is so accustomed to the how in the hell we got to this point? How we got to this point that we are so accustomed that they did a survey, and look at this. They asked to not every person, but they did a survey to the Mexican public about if you agree or you don't agree. And look at this. They're saying, does the cartel provide more public support in the communities than the government? 48% said yes. 36% said no. 48% said yes, and 36% said no. Imagine that. They asked again, does the cartel generate more jobs than the government? Does the cartel provide more jobs than the government? 52% said yes. 35% said no. Now, another one. Does the cartel generate progress in communities where cartel people live? Look at this. Does the cartel generate progress in communities where cartel people live? 57% said yes. 32% said no. Now, look at this one. Look at this one. If the cartel generates violence, would it be an activity that it will benefit your state? You will think that they will say 99.99.99.9 millisiemends of 9. No. But hear this out. If the cartel were to generate violence, would it be an activity that it will benefit your state? 63% said yes. 31% said no. Wow. Hear that survey. Unbelievable survey. Unbelievable. Imagine, is he lying or not? Is he again lying or not? Incredible. Unbelievable. I want you guys to hear this out before I go to this next subject that we need to talk about. But I want you guys to hear this out. And I don't want you guys to get butthurt, because every time that I talk about that there's a lot of Americans living over here in my city, a lot of Americans get butthurt. Then when I talk about that there's a lot of illegal Americans that live over here in our country, they get mad. Don't get mad. It's just reality news. If you're not able to handle it, just get off the feed and then come back when it's really nice. Look at this survey that it just came out. 8 out of 10 traffickers, 8 out of 10 drug traffickers that they're detained at the border, they are U.S. citizens. 8 out of 10 traffickers that they are detained at the border, they are U.S. citizens. 8 out of 10 traffickers of drugs that they are detained at the border, they are U.S. citizens. 8 de 10 traficantes de drogas detenidos son de Estados Unidos. Why? Why? I will tell you why. Easy money. Century line. Look American. Fake it that you're going to work. You're not. You're trafficking. All these statistics, they're really important for you guys to know how our cities handle. Why? Because the cartel people look for U.S. citizens. They look for residents. There's more possibilities for them to cross to the United States with drugs that be an inspection every day at the border by a guy that has a tourist visa. Why? Because if the guy has a tourist visa and is crossing every day, the custom is going to be like you're crossing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Where are you going? You're going over there to work. You have a tourist visa. Why are you crossing every day? So they send them to secondary. Now, if it is a resident, I'm crossing to work. I just came to visit my mom. Go ahead. If it is a U.S. citizen, I just came on a vacation, man. I just came to visit, some family members. Don't start getting butthurt. Are they Hispanic or U.S. citizens? It doesn't matter. This is the thing. This is the thing. It doesn't matter the color. Stop generalizing color. A guy just got stopped. A U.S. Caucasian, American, white. Last week with 2 guns at the border of a Chaparral. Don't get color involved. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Remember? It's not about color. Remember? It's about being an American. Remember? Remember? It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, purple, dark, brown. Remember? It's about an American citizen having more leap and more advantage of crossing to the United States. It's been a fact for hundreds of years, man, that it's more easy for Americans, U.S. citizens, to cross the border with drugs to America. Facts. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. It is a reality. And it is a fact. It is a reality and it is a fact. And why? Because when you live in the border, and I told you this, I experienced it. When you live in the border, it's really difficult to stay away. It's really difficult to stay away. And it's really difficult for this U.S. citizens that live in Tijuana and other U.S. citizens that they're coming back and forth every day to party, and you're at a party and then you see a guy I have seen so many people get busted. I have seen so many people of all types of colors. So this is a reality. It says right here, 8 out of 10 traffickers of drugs that they're detained, they are from the United States. 77%. It said almost 8 out of 10 people that they're detained at the border trafficking drugs are from the nationality of the United States. This is an investigation that it was taking place in by an organization of America. So, also they quote, when the public thinks that traffickers of drugs are, more directed to illegal immigrants or undocumented people in the border, but the reality is that the majority of them are U.S. citizens. The majority of them. And this is the statistics. The green, I will take a photo and I will post it in the page. The green color is people from America, people from the United States. Red color is legal non-citizen. Yellow color is illegal non-citizen. Blue color is unknown citizens. I will post this picture later on. Look at that. There you go. Now look how it's had increased until 2018. This is 2018 right here. Look how bad it has increased. Yellow is almost the same. Illegal non-citizens. Green is all people from the United States. So, is AMLO doing something about it? How did this affect the borders? How the decisions of our government and the corrupt decisions of the DEA affect the people from the border? A lot. How does it affect the borders and the United States Customs and the Border Patrols being instigated and being also right there to be bribed by all these cartels right now at this particular moment? A lot. It's like a young kid putting a chocolate cake right there in front of you and not eating it and not doing anything about it for thousands and thousands of months. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So is he doing something about it or not? No, they're not. And no, he's not. And I want you to listen. I want you to listen to this right here. And after that, I will give you another statistic that is horrible about how the narco culture has affected so bad our borders and so bad our country that all the majority of the young people underage are so involved now. I will give you a statistic. Do you guys know Joe Rogan? Do you guys know Joe Rogan? Man, I love Joe Rogan, man. Joe Rogan is a phenomenal guy. He is I think the director or something like that, or of UFC. You guys know Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan had a person invited. The show is called the Joe Rogan Experience. I listen to him a lot. And he had a border agent that he's talking about Sicario accuracy in cartels being designated as terrorists. Great interview, by the way, and it's not that long. It's 3 minutes. So I will play this interview. He's also an announcer, yes, but he's also like the guy that runs the UFC, director of UFC. Yes, he's a badass guy, really. He's a bad dude, man. Really smart. And this is the talk show that he has. He has a talk show that his name is the Joe Rogan Experience. And he had a Mexican border agent that he's talking about on the Sicario accuracy and the cartels being designated by the United States government as terrorists. Let's hear this out so you guys can get a glimpse of what I'm talking about. And is AMLO lying? The last thing that I want to ask you guys, is he lying about all these facts that I just laid off for you guys? Is he lying to the United States government? And what is the United States government doing also to stop this? And not only that, how is this president is saying that he's concerned right now is the public and is the Mexicans, when we are seeing 17,500 homicides, the highest in the last 3 presidents. And also I'm going to give you a stat after this video of how many young kids are so involved because the level of education at the house is failing to a 99%. So let's just hear him out. This is Joe Rogan with a Mexican border agent, a former Mexican border agent. Let's hear him out.
Sicario, that movie Sicario came out. You know,
Yeah.
those people are
This is the Mexican border agent talking.
looking at that movie. So a lot of the followers are suspicious of that Benicio del Toro having an MP5. I was the only Mexican rocking an MP5 submachine gun down there, right? So that's like, is that,
What did you think of those movies?
oh, horrible. It's horrible, unrealistic. They should. If somebody doesn't hire me, I'll do it for free. Just I'll consult for free on that. And I'll make it look a bit more closer to what it is. But it's the main thing is everybody saw that movie, and that's how they would, that's the reality, how fiction is kind of a basis for reality. So Sicario 2 comes out, and it's basically the United States declaring the cartels a terrorist organization, and I saw that, and I was like, usually fiction kind of has a way of influencing reality further on the line, that Denzel Washington movie called Siege, where a bunch of terrorists attack New York and then militarize New York, and that's kind of like a precedent for 9/11. Mm-hmm. So you see Sicario 2, and then, we're going to tear...
Now, this is extremely, before I keep on going with this interview, this is a phenomenal clip by Joe Rogan. Why I say it's phenomenal clip, because this goes to the next stat that I'm about to give you about how the narco culture has affected our education in our country. And this former Mexican border agent, he went over there to do a movie for Benicio del Toro that is Sicario. Now, look how then later on he's saying that the government came out and declared that the cartels are terrorists and designated as terrorists. And he's explaining how a movie, look how this is important. Our education and our culture and all these movies that they're being put out there to be realistic about the situation, how it is, it's affecting and it's motivating young kids to get involved as sicarios. That has to do a lot with the next stat that I'm about to show you. So let me go on with this interview. That is fantastic.
Trump now says they're thinking about declaring the cartels as a terrorist organization. That's pretty interesting. Mainly because, realistically, Mexico has been calling them terrorists forever.
What did you think about that? About Trump doing that? Do you think that actually is something that could happen?
If you're going to militarize efforts against it, and not just consider it a law enforcement type situation, mm-hmm. I think people should be afraid down there if you do go that route. But just realize that's going to be open warfare, not in a foreign country across the ocean. It's going to be right next to your border.
Yeah,
hear that out. It is because President Trump declared that, the cartels were designated as terrorists. And if you designate a cartel as a terrorist, that means that you need to bring the military and the National Guard in there. So what is happening right now in our country? It is happening exactly this, that the National Guard has come into our country, and now the federal agents are going to become the National Guard. Why do you think? This has a lot to do with what he's doing right now. This has a lot to do with what he's doing. One authority. So probably, Trump is, man, I'm now getting it. I am now getting it, how Americans, that they love their president, how they're saying every time, Trump is always 2-3 steps ahead of everybody, man. He's always 2-3 steps ahead of everybody. And now I'm getting him what he's saying, that he's declaring them terrorists so Mexico can do something about it. And he can militarize, he can bring the National Guard, and Trump has been wanting this, to bring the National Guard to the borders of the United States so it can be more protected, not only for the influx of migrants, but most importantly for this influx of drugs. Because he knew that the next president that was coming to office into our country, Mexico, it was not going to do nothing about it. Nothing about it. So let's hear the last minutes of this former Mexican border agent talking about how the United States government has declared that the cartels are terrorists.
People can walk across.
Yes. Or make things happen down there that will affect you up here.
Yeah.
In a very real way,
And it'll get ugly before it gets better.
I hopefully it doesn't, but that's realistically.
But if that doesn't happen, if they don't treat it as a terrorist organization and try to have some sort of impact on it, what could be done?
I mean, I think culturally, they're trying to get us ready for that.
I love this Mexican. He's an ex-Mexican border agent. I love him, man. I love him. Because what he just said, let me just return this back. Oh my God. This is an excellent and really accurate statement. Look at this.
Could be done.
I mean, I think culturally, they're trying to get us ready for that.
Get us ready for what? Culturally, get us ready for what? So they're making movies to make it look like this is going to happen? So they're getting the narco culture involved in the societies, the communities, and the countries so they can adapt and also educate? That's what they're doing? So now that they're trying to butter it off into the United States, that's what he's doing. And Joe Rogan asked him, so if they don't declare them as a terrorist, how they're going to stop it? That is why right now federal agents are going to the National Guard. Because they know that Trump is preparing for something. Trump is actually 4, 5, 6 steps ahead of every single president right now. And this ex-Mexican border agent knows about, they are doing all these movies and all these narco culture over there to let everybody know what is happening. A message. You know? A message. And now that you know the message, the United States are declaring them as a terrorist group. Saying that they're a terrorist group, they need to militarize their borders. Not only to protect it from the influx of migrants, but also to protect them by the cartel influx that is coming. Excellent interview by Joe Rogan from this former Mexican border agent. Let's hear the last part.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I think that's what's happening. You see a lot of the cross, borders, U.S. military assets training Mexican Marines down there and having an open relationship with them. You see that, and that the push is to maybe, preparing for something. I think they're preparing for something.
What are we preparing for? What are we preparing for? If the Marines are talking right now to the military at the borders of Mexico, what are we preparing for? What are we preparing for? It looks like, and he's saying, we are preparing for something. What are we preparing for? So, this comes to another question that I'm about to ask you. Is AMLO doing something about it? Is he lying? Excellent interview by Joe Rogan to a former Mexican border agent that talks about the Sicario accuracy and also the cartels being designated as terrorists. You can watch that clip at YouTube and you can just put former Mexican border agent on Sicario accuracy and you will actually see it. So this, right now that he has said about how is the narco culture affecting the communities and the societies and the cities and the country of Mexico. How it has affected. And this is how it has affected. Look at these stats. La Procuraduría General de la República, the Defense of the General Republic, is a government dependency that gives stats. It's saying this: 768 minors were presented at the public minister in 2006. And in 2011, the number escalated to 1,857 that they were involved in the cartel. Now, last year, look how it's increased. 63% of all accusations and all crimes that they're related with the cartels have been minors. 63% of all of the detainees that they've been accused of cartel, being related to the cartel or drug trafficking, have been minors. And in 2006 and in 2011, 7,738 of them were vinculated to the narco culture. Out of those 7,738 in 2011 and till 2006 to 2011, 700 of them were women. Now, how in the hell right now you're going to tell me that you are protecting our country and that you don't care about the heads, you don't care about the drug lords, when it has increased to a 63% on minors vinculated to the narco culture and also committing crimes that is related to the cartel. Not only that, we go to the first stat that I gave you, 17,500 assassinations on the first trimester of AMLO. Not only that, we go to 76 tons of cocaine. They've been detained on 2014, and the number has downed. It's been down on this year. There's another stat that you are lying about it, because you're telling me that right here, you're telling me that AMLO from the first trimester, that is a ridiculous number. Felipe Calderón, before Peña Nieto, detained 1,469,199 kilos of cocaine. Then, on the first trimester of Peña Nieto, he detained 1,331,332 kilos of cocaine. And then you go to AMLO, and he just detained 4 kilos. So how are you protecting our country? Don't tell me that all the cocaine has disappeared since you started the government of Mexico. Don't tell me that. Really don't tell me that. Because it's not possible. When it went to the air, it disintegrated. It is a lie. So the question is, for you guys right now, is he lying or he's not to the American government? Statistics also, that 8 out of 10 traffickers that they are detained at the border, they are American. How is this affecting U.S. citizens? Huge. Green, American, detained. Yellow, illegal non-American. How is this affecting the border? Huge. DEA corrupt. Government of Mexico and DEA working together. Unbelievable. Just here yelling. If that's the way I talk. If you don't like the way I talk, I'm so sorry. Lower down your volume and then, lower down your volume. If you don't like it, if that's the way I talk. Really. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, miss. That is the way I talk. So if it is affecting your hearing, lower down the volume. Is he lying or not? What newspaper is that, Oscar? El Mexicano. From today, July 8th, 2008. Mexicano. And that's the way I give the news. If you want me to wear a nice tie with a nice jump jacket, you know, it'll be like, this doesn't. The majority of Americans are 8 out of 10. I can't do that. That's not me. I'm sorry. So the question is, let's go back to the subject. The question is,